Let's jump right into the slow traveling mindset. Okay, here's the thing. Especially in the United States, we've been taught to travel in small increments because we don't have enough time off from work. This all is a myth, and it's not true in any other country but the USA. But here's the thing. And I used to do that too before I discovered slow traveling. And here's what I have to say about it. When you're in the mindset of doing a luxury trip, spending $1,000 a day, which I've done, you think of it like I have to do as much as I possibly can in one go. However, when you're traveling slowly, you have a big advantage because if you're gone for at least a month, you can pace yourself, you can take a nap, you can, like right now, I'm renting an apartment, I'm going to make lunch, but I can also go out to a local place for lunch or another kind of place. I'm not pressed to do everything in 24 hours, which makes you exhausted. So the thing is, the slow traveling mindset, it'll take you your first trip and then you'll get it because it doesn't even seem possible that you can have that much time off. But once you do it and find out that it's actually more affordable than doing a small trip, not a small trip, a short trip because of work or your lifestyle. And I used to do it too. So I know that you get into this mindset of thinking you have to do all these things and you can't actually slow down and just live more like a local person. So there's a lot of things that you can decide to do. So when people tell you you've got to do this, you've got to go to that landmark, you've got to see this thing, you don't. You're slow traveling and you can take your time and you can always come back to a place if you want to. So what I've noticed, and I spent 18 months in Asia a while back and went to 6 countries, and I kept coming back to certain places because I liked them so much. So that's what you can do when you slow travel. You can find a place you really like. If you discover a place you don't like so much, you don't have to go back, but try it out, see what you think. You're not going to have the same response to a place as someone who's doing fast travel and trying to get everything in at once that they possibly can do. So, when people give you advice about you've got to go here, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you don't. You can take it slowly, see how you feel that day. Don't rush. That's the beauty of slow travel. And it took me a long time to discover this because I was working oftentimes 12-hour days in my photography business in Silicon Valley. So I didn't know anything else. But once I did that first 2.5-month trip, I saw, let's see, how old was I? 49. I'm 69 now. I saw that there was a different way that you can travel. So here's one of the biggest things. When you go back to places, and I would definitely come back to Lecce, Italy. This is a wonderful place. I don't intend to having this be the only time I come here because it's very friendly. The prices are good. I have a nice apartment. I've been sleeping well. The owners are nice. I feel well taken care of. It's in a safe location. Now, you don't always get that everywhere. So, I can certainly think of many places in South America that weren't like that. But I've also evolved in my traveling. So that South America trip was a 6-month overland backpacking solo trip through 6 countries. I would not do that now. The most I would do his maybe 2 countries and take it slower. Because the thing is, when you're in a rush, you don't have as much time to talk to local people, find out the great things. Like, just in the past 2 days of being here, I've only been here 2 nights. The very kind gentleman who checked me into the apartment, who is a friend of the owner, gave me a list of places to go to eat, and I checked out all of them, looked at the menus. They were very local places, very affordable. I wouldn't have known about those places. Like, I do a lot of research for eating and food and that kind of thing. That's evolved over the years of Italy because there's gems out there, and I want people to know about them and go there and not feel like you have to go to a Michelin star restaurant when there's a family-run place that's been around for 100 years and they do exceptional food. Everybody has a different budget, and so part of what I feel my mission is to help people realize that you don't have to be a zillionaire to travel. You can pick the right season to go in. You can choose countries that are more affordable. And, I'm saying this from the perspective of, not having, of being a person who works. And so it's not like I've retired and I've got a huge sum of money to live off of. Ha ha ha. I'm coming from a person who works and earns my money, um, and has made different choices so that I can travel full time. And a lot of people could do this. Definitely people in Western countries. There's trade-offs, sure. But it's very doable. So getting back onto the mindset, when you see it more as you're more living like a local, you're not taking taxis all the time, you're taking public transportation, you're cooking meals in your apartment. And I'll tell you, the food in Europe that you can buy, I just got back from the food market here in Lecce, Italy. Oh my gosh. The meat, cheese, vegetables, fruit. I forgot the fruit. I was so enamored of the cheese and olive environment I was. But I'm going to go back and get some Sicilian oranges. Those are the best oranges in the world. It's really fun. So you have to switch to that mindset rather than being in the luxury mindset of you're on a shorter trip, so you do have to do a lot more things, but that's kind of stressful sometimes. So, in fact, I've done shorter spans of, so this 1,400-mile train trip for me has been not what I usually do. So, but I'm glad I did it because it gave me the enchantment of Venice, the beauty of Lecce, a week in the south of France. And in all of those places, except for Venice, I would go back for a month and stay because it hit all of the boxes. Ease of transportation, food quality high, prices good, friendly people. So Venice is beautiful, but I think living there for a month would be challenging because of it's very touristic. And I was a tourist. I think it's better for shorter trips rather than a slow travel experience, although prove me wrong if that's something you would want to do. But I didn't delve into finding an apartment. So if you're going to stay somewhere for a month, I don't recommend staying in a hotel room. staying in an apartment is more practical. The price is better. You're going to be able to make your meals and go out sometimes, but you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to eat, so I have to go to a restaurant, which is fun. But um, it's not the slow travel concept of feeling more like you're a local. So what you really want to do is the slow traveling thing is great because you don't have to be a full 800% tourist when you're doing it. You can take your time and not feel rushed. Breathe, take naps, read a book, not feel like you have to rush to every landmark to see things. So this has been a very interesting because I've never done a 1,400-mile train trip through Europe. And what I've got to say is, okay, I want to give you a couple of tips on that. Don't go in the commuter hour time on the train like I did leaving France. I had no idea it was going to be that crowded. And got in a bit of trouble. I was trying to put my luggage in this awkward place on the train, and a guy had his huge electric scooter in the aisle. You're not supposed to do that. And he made no effort to put it beside him in the seat. He just left it there, even though it was making it impossible for me to put my luggage in there. But miracle happened. 2 women got up and said, please sit down, because I'm old. So I did get some black and blues on that experience, but it ended well. So don't go in the commuter time. um, Another thing is to try and find a place where you can sleep well, because that's going to make a big difference. So if your sleep is hindered and it's too noisy or the bed is horrible, you're going to have to change, because if you don't sleep well, then it's going to affect your peace of mind. And you're not going to have as good a time if you can't sleep well. So I think that's about it for the mindset. There's one more thing. The transportation is really interesting in Europe, and I say it in a good way, because you don't have to have a car. Now, here in Puglia, it's recommended by several people I know that you have a car, but I really don't want to drive here. I don't want to deal with parking. I don't want to deal with I'm gonna get cataract surgery, so seeing well is something that's gonna happen this year, but it's not the way it is now. Um, so that's an issue too. So everybody's different, but I don't wanna drive here, and I don't want the stress. I already see my wrinkles relaxing because I don't have the stress that I have in the United States with several different things, driving. I don't need to go into it, but, um the thing is, you can get by without driving. So I did look at a few places that I wanted to go here in Puglia, and it was really far to take the train and out of the way with the bus and all. And I just thought, well, I'm not going to do that. I'd just rather be relaxed and happy in this beautiful neighborhood with the beautiful Baroque architecture and all these different things I can do here. So you can make that decision if you go to a place where you feel like, oh, I can't really get around that well. You can either move to another location where you can. So the places I'm going in Sicily are very easily, the transportation is easier. So you can walk to the train station, walk to the bus station, and you can get to other cities quickly. I've heard people complain about it online, but I've been there. This will be my 8th time, and I think the transportation there is quite good. So here's the thing. You want to make decisions based on what works for you as a slow traveler, what feels right for you, what somebody who's done a 3-week trip to 20 different cities in Italy, their advice is not going to be for you when they tell you to go here, go there. When you're a slow traveler, you don't need to go to 20 different places. And especially if you're solo, it's very different because you're moving all of your stuff yourself. Maybe you get a taxi every once in a while, but being on your own is a different kind of thing. You don't have anybody picking up your luggage all the time and guiding you. So you don't need to take advice from people who think they know better for how you should travel. I'm doing this because you're my specials, and I want you to, I'm on a mission to help people to travel more. So it's more coming from me. I want people to realize that there's a lot more they can be doing traveling without the mindset of going to 20 different cities in 3 weeks. And I've, done too much myself in the past 20 years in certain countries. And I've finally learned don't do too much because you need rest days. You need to take stock of what you just experienced so it's not all a blur. And you can come back. I've been to India, Thailand, Cambodia, Bali, Italy, France, many, many times. And each time is a rich experience. So that's the kind of traveler I am. And other people are like, oh no, I'm not going to go back to a place I've already been. That's fine. But that isn't how I feel. I like to return to places that I really love. Because for me, there's people there I want to see. And I've made friends. So that's the thing. When you're slow traveling, you start to make friends with people that live there. And it can be very casual. Like I went to a really local place last night, and there was one young person that knew English. So he took care of my order, and we had a nice chat. And so, I want to go back and see him. He's like, are you coming tomorrow? I'm like, yes. So you want to see these people, and that makes your experience richer. So, slow traveling, you can do it. And it actually is more like your affordability factor as opposed to living in the United States. It can make a lot more sense to be traveling full time, maybe having a side thing that you do for income as you travel, or you save up money. Most of what I do is I save the money before going on a trip, and then have a lot of free time while I'm traveling, although that's evolving all the time because I'm still working. So whatever works for your lifestyle is what can work for your traveling lifestyle. And if you need more help, I have the one-on-one consultations, and just want to see people get traveling and enjoying this beautiful world of ours. And I'll see you in the next video. So thanks for being a special and coming on over here. And thanks for the new subscribers, the paid subscribers. I really appreciate you coming on my journey with me and discovering the world. So I'll see you in the next video.